Leviticus chapter 21 verse 1 to 24. Verse 1. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say to them, a priest must not make himself ceremonially unclean for any of his people who die." Verse 2. Except for a close relative, such as his mother or father, his son or daughter, his brother. Verse 3. Or an unmarried sister who is dependent on him since she has no husband. For her she may make himself unclean. Verse 4. He must not make himself unclean for people related to him by marriage, and so defile himself. Verse 5. Priests must not shave their heads or shave off the edges of their beards or cut their bodies. Verse 6. They must be holy to their God and must not profane the name of their God, because they present the food offerings to the Lord, the food of their God. They are to be holy. Verse 7. They must not marry women defiled by prostitutions or divorced from their husbands, because priests are holy to their God. Verse 8. Regard them as holy, because they offer up the food of your God. Consider them holy, because I, the Lord, am holy, I who make you holy. Verse 9. If a priest's daughter defiles herself by becoming a prostitute, she disgraces her father. She must be burned in the fire. Verse 10. The high priest, the one among his brothers who has had the anointing oil poured on his head and who has been ordained to wear the priestly garments, must not let his hair become unkempt to tear his clothes. Verse 11. He must not enter a place where there is a dead body. He must not make himself unclean, even for his father or mother. Verse 12. Nor leave the sanctuary of his God or desecrate it, because he has been dedicated by the anointing oil of his God. I am the Lord. Verse 13. The woman he marries must be a virgin. Verse 14. He must not marry a widow, a divorced woman, or a woman defiled by prostitution, but only a virgin from his own people. Verse 15. So that he will not defile his offspring among his people. I am the Lord, who makes him holy. Verse 16. The Lord said to Moses. Verse 17. Say to Aaron, for the generations to come, none of your descendants who has a defect may come near to offer the food of his God. Verse 18. No man who has any defect may come near. No man who is blind or lame, disfigured or deformed. Verse 19. No man with a crippled foot or hand. Verse 20. Or who is a hunchback or a dwarf, or who has any eye defect, or who has festering or running sores or damaged testicles. Verse 21. No descendant of Aaron the priest who has any defect is to come near to present the food offerings to the Lord. He has a defect. He must not come near to offer the food of his God. Verse 22. He may eat the most holy food of his God, as well as the holy food. Verse 23. Yet because of his defect, he must not go near the curtain or approach the altar, and so desecrate my sanctuary. I am the Lord, who makes them holy. Verse 24. So Moses told this to Aaron and his sons and to all the Israelites. Leviticus chapter 22 verse 1 to 33. Verse 1. The Lord said to Moses. Verse 2. Tell Aaron and his sons to treat with respect the sacred offerings the Israelites consecrate to me, so they will not profane my holy name. I am the Lord. Verse 3. Say to them, for the generations to come, if any of your descendants is ceremonially unclean and yet comes near the sacred offerings that the Israelites consecrate to the Lord, That person must be cut off from my presence. I am the Lord. Verse 4. If a descendant of Aaron has a defiling skin disease or a bodily discharge, he may not eat the sacred offerings until he is cleansed. He will also be unclean if he touches something defiled by a corpse or by anyone who has an emission of semen. Verse 5. Or if he touches any crawling things that makes him unclean, or any person who makes him unclean, whatever the uncleanness may be. Verse 6. The one who touches any such thing will be unclean till evening. He must not eat any of the sacred offerings unless he has bathed himself with water. Verse 7. When the sun goes down, he will be clean, and after that he may eat the sacred offerings, for they are his food. Verse 8. He must not eat anything found dead or torn by wild animals, and so become unclean through it. I am the Lord. Verse 9. The priests are to perform my service in such a way that they do not become guilty and die for treating it with contempt. I am the Lord who makes them holy. Verse 10. No one outside a priest family may eat the sacred offering, nor may the guest of a priest or his hired worker eat it. Verse 11. But if a priest buys a slave with money, or if slaves are born in his household, they may eat his food. Verse 12. If a priest's daughter marries anyone other than a priest, she may not eat any of the sacred contributions. Verse 13. But if a priest's daughter becomes a widow or in divorce, yet has no children, and she returns to live in her father's household as in her youth, she may eat her father's food. No unauthorized person, however, may eat it. Verse 14. Anyone who eats a sacred offering by mistake must make restitutions to the priest for the offering and add a fifth of the value of it. Verse 15. The priest must not desecrate the sacred offerings the Israelites present to the Lord. Verse 16. By allowing them to eat the sacred offerings and to bring upon them guilt requiring payment. I am the Lord who makes them holy. Verse 17. The Lord said to Moses. Verse 18. Speak to Aaron and his sons and to all the Israelites and say to them, if any of you, whether an Israelite or a foreigner residing in Israel, present a gift for a burnt offering to the Lord, either to fulfill a vow or as a freewill offering. Verse 19. You must present a male without defect from the cattle, sheep or goats in order that it may be accepted on your behalf. Verse 20. Do not bring anything with a defect, because it will not be accepted on your behalf. Verse 21. When anyone brings from the herds or flock a fellowship offering to the Lord to fulfill a special vow or as a freewill offering, it must be without defect or blemish to be acceptable. Verse 22. Do not offer to the Lord the blind, the injured or the maimed, or anything with warts or festering or running sores. Do not place any of this on the altar as a food offering presented to the Lord. Verse 23. You may, however, present as a freewill offering an ox or a sheep that is deformed or stunted, but it will not be accepted in fulfillment of a vow. Verse 24. You must not offer to the Lord an animal whose testicles are bruised, crushed, torn, or cut. You must not do this in your own land. Verse 25. And you must not accept such animals from the hands of a foreigner and offer them as the food of your God. They will not be accepted on your behalf, because they are deformed and have defects. Verse 26. The Lord said to Moses. Verse 27. When a calf, a lamb, or a goat is born, it is to remain with its mother for 7 days. From the 8th day on, it will be acceptable as a food offering presented to the Lord. Verse 28. Do not slaughter a cow or a sheep and its young on the same day. Verse 29. When you sacrifice a thank offering to the Lord, sacrifice it in such a way that it will be accepted on your behalf. Verse 30. It must be eaten that same day. Leave none of it till morning. I am the Lord. Verse 31. Keep my commands and follow them. I am the Lord. Verse 32. Do not profane my holy name, for I must be acknowledged as holy by the Israelites. I am the Lord, who made you holy. Verse 33. And who brought you out of Egypt to be your God? I am the Lord. These chapters highlight that those who serve God must do with reverence, purity, and respect. Holiness requires honoring God not only through worship, but also through the way we live and serve Him.